I could try that drop shot. I don't know if that test on that rod's good enough. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He's on. That is one heck of a smallie. Hey, Prongs here. We're gonna talk about drop shot fishing today. It's a tried and true method. It's my insurance policy when nothing else is working. I've been doing it since I was a little kid. I used to just tie a hook onto a line and clamp on some sinkers at the bottom, and I'd have a good old time. I'd be slaying fish as just a little kid. I'd be 12 years old riding my bike down to the riverbank, and I'd be catching fish. So I always had buddies asking me, how do you do it? Back then, I didn't really know what I was doing. Now I know what I'm doing, and I'm here to teach you. All right, so to rig up a drop shot, it's not super complicated. It's not anything you can't learn after doing it a couple times. Real simple supplies. You don't need anything crazy. Most stores are going to carry something like this, a split shot / drop shot. I have it in the size 3. You can get size 1, 2, whatever you're going for. Size 3 is big enough for most fish that I'm using or that I'm going after. So the only really big difference with the hook is there's a little bit of an angle. I don't know if you can tell, but there's a little bit of an angle there, and just the way that it comes back up. It's also designed so that the tie-on is on the back side of the, not actually at the end of the eyelet like most hooks, but you're trying to tie it on inside there. All right, so that's the hooks we're gonna be using. I'll leave that down there. A lot of different weights you can use. They come drop shot weights. You'll see them labeled that way. They're usually these cylinders because they get caught on things a little less, but you'll also find them in the balls. Round drop shot weights. I got quarter ounce on this, and then I got 3/16. I usually go a little lighter for I'm fishing, just like in ponds and calm water. But when you're fishing current or you're fishing something heavier, you're gonna need a heavier weight. And it's self-explanatory. Baits, you're looking for something wiggly and crazy. We'll get into this more after I've tied it on, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. All right, I have my basic, the most basic rig I have. This is my backup insurance policy, okay? So if I'm not catching something top water, I'm not catching something with a jig, I'm not catching something with a chatterbait, anything else you can name, I'll go with this if I know that there's fish in there and I know where the fish are. Because fish, when they're not hungry and they're not feeding, they're really hard to catch. We all know that. We've all been there where we're throwing something all day long and we just can't get it. So my last ditch effort is always this. Sometimes it's fun to just fish this all day because it's gonna catch you fish. You're gonna get numbers with this. It's gonna be fun. And I have a couple of examples of that coming up for you. So I have my ugly stick with my, I think the President reel. I'm not sure what size it is, but I got monofilament line here. And this is the only spinning reel that I typically use when I'm out bass fishing. This is what I'll have my drop shot rig tied onto because it's the absolute go-to. This is my unit. It's just a medium action too, so it's a lot of fun when you're catching like a mid-sized bass because the pole is still, whoa. But anyway, let's get to this. All right, so you're gonna take your hook. We want this hook to be sitting upright in the water. So if this is your line, you want the hook to be on that line this way. So what I'm saying is you don't want it upside down. You don't want it off to the sides. You want it to be sticking straight up because your bait's going to be sitting on the end of this hook and it's going to be wiggling around. And the way we're going to tie this on is going to make it so that this hook stays upright. Get the end of your line here. You want to have quite a bit of line out for this. You know, too much is better than not enough. And this sounds silly, so you'd think when you're putting it on the line, right, you want it to be the correct way, facing upwards, back towards the pole. But you're actually going to do something counterintuitive. You're going to do it backwards, and it's because of the way that I tie this on. So let me show you. Slide it through. Get yourself a lot of line here. Then we're gonna, I gotta get a better angle for you guys, I think. We're gonna just come back around. So I have the line here, I have the hook here, the line coming back, and then I have the end of the line. So you're gonna end up having to tie a sinker on the end of the line. So give yourself a whole lot there. And then pull the hook towards you so that this line comes back over top. I know this isn't gonna show up very well, but hopefully you'll see what I'm talking about. You're gonna bring this down and around. So you're trying to match up the line that you pulled through the hook with the line that's behind the hook. So once you get that matched up and you've created a little loop here, you're just gonna hold these two side by side like this, and then you're gonna start twisting them. Give yourself 3 to 5 twists. You don't gotta go crazy, but you don't wanna do just one. I've seen people do like 10. We're gonna do that many. I don't even remember how much that was. Then we're gonna take the hook, we're gonna push the hook up, we're gonna flip it, This is why I told you to put it on backwards. We're going to flip it. We're going to put it through that. And find that end of your line that you set down. Let it fall. And then start pulling. You'll see how there's loops on each end there. So you got the 2 loops. You're going to pull and you want to try and get them even. And you want the lines to be behind that eyelet. Not at the end of it like you would do with most rigs. You want it actually behind it. And then you'll see how this is about to set. So I'm going to pull it. I'm going to cinch it nice and tight. And then you'll see there's 2 or 3 knots on each side of that holding it there in place. Make sure you got it nice and tight. And then I'll show you what I meant by how it flips. So now, if I'm holding this line straight up and down, that's how the hook's going to be setting in the water. It's actually going to be setting upright how we want it. Okay, so now let's get to the part with the sinkers. So we're going to use, I know I showed you guys the lead ones, but we're going to actually use a nice tungsten one. These are expensive. This is the reason that I don't usually use these, because you're going to lose them. I mean, especially because I fish a lot of weedy bottoms or a lot of structure. It's going to get caught on stuff. It's going to drag, but that's the whole point of this. Is with drop shot, you are kind of dragging a little bit and just popping. You're trying to get some action going, but you're trying to keep the bait in a very small area because you know there's fish there. So for tying this on, I don't usually do anything crazy secure. I just do a typical fisherman's knot. Put it through the little eyelet. Give yourself some room. Now we're just going to tie this how you would tie any other basic hook. Go around a couple times. 1, 2, 3. Back through the hole that's left here. Grab it and then cinch it down. Cinch it real tight if you're using these tungsten weights. And then pull on this side too. Get all the space and all the holes out of that line. Alright, and then when you're happy with how it looks, drop that. Happy with how it looks, clip off the end. There you have it. That's your full rig. So now you have this at the end of this. So here's my hook. I've got a sinker here. This one's actually there's quite a bit of line there, and this would be suspended pretty high off the bottom. So I mean, when you run into that, don't panic. It's as easy as just clip the line. You don't got to retie the whole thing. All that you need to retie is the sinker. So let's space this out a little better. That's the thing, people get really frustrated when they're doing stuff like this. Don't get frustrated, it's okay. Everything will be all right. Same thing as before, only we're gonna go farther up the line. We don't wanna, we're gonna boom, 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 back through the hole, tie it down. Cinch it nice and tight. Pull it here at the top. Clip off the excess. There we go. That's much more reasonable. So there's the sinker. There's the hook. It's going to sit in the water like this. And then you're going to drag it along, and you're going to just be really playing with the line. Baits. All right, so this is fun. A lot of different baits you can use. The old school, the tried and true, the robo worm. Everybody loves them. They're fun. They're expensive, but they're fun. They used to be my go-to. They used to be what I'd use all the time when I was drop shotting. Either this or live bait. You know, you use a night crawler or even just a typical garden worm, anything. You put it on the end of that. Anything that has action is going to move. It's going to get the fish. There's the robo worms. Another thing that I haven't tried yet, but I want to, is putting little minnows at the end. I picked these up today. They have little twirly tail, not twirly tails, but little very sensitive tails that you can see vibrating there. And I feel like this is going to be a winner, but I don't know anything until I've tried it. This is what I've been using. It's the Guggen Drag and Drop, pure passion. I got it in the watermelon with the red specks. This has been killing every time I've thrown it in. I actually have one out of the package here. This is the one I showed you in the beginning. So you'll see it's just a really, really flimsy bait, just like a robo worm. I feel like it's got a little more strength up here, though. The thing with the robo worm is I feel like they are thicker up at the top, but they used to snap on me pretty often. All right, let's show you how to hook these. Now, there's a couple methods. The method that I always use is I go up, I nose hook it. That's it. I mean, that's really it. It's nose hooked. It's going to sit in the water like this and float, and you're just going to drag it along and you're going to pop it. This tail's going to go crazy. It's going to be a fun time. This method, tried and true. Problem, you'll lose a couple of them, and it's going to happen, but you're going to be catching fish with it, so you're not going to be too angry that you're losing them. So then there's another method that people use where they snake this hook all the way through. Let me see if I can do it for you here without hurting myself. So kind of like how you'd set up a jig and put like a grub or something at the end of it. You're trying to get this hook way up there. See, I didn't do a very good job. I came out too soon. Draw it back. And like that. And it sits in the water like that. You're going to lose a lot less of them. This is another good method if you don't want to lose this worm as often. You're going to lose the tails. They're pretty flimsy here, but overall, this is going to be a good method. Really, drop shotting is universal. There's not going to be a lot of situations where it's not going to work. If you know that there's fish in a location, you've had some bites, you've had some action, but you cannot hook the fish, throw a drop shot right in that spot, right where you know they are. You're going to drag it along the bottom gently. This is going to just drag. And then the line, you want to keep the line tight. And when that line's tight and you're wiggling that rod, this tail is going to go nuts in the water. It's going to be a lot of fun, and you're going to catch a lot of fish this way. Now, let me show you a few examples of that. I wonder what I got to go put something else on here. I'm going to go put a big old worm on here. I could try that drop shot. I don't know if that test on that rod's good enough. I'll try it anyway. I have no idea what test this line is. They're all trying so hard to get it. Okay, well, we know that it's a good bait. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He's on. Oh, he's a monster. I'm going to bring him up to the shore here. Oh, guys. The drop shot did it. Oh my God. Oh, look at this. That is one heck of a smallie. I just had to figure out what he was eating. Let's get a weight on this guy, weight and a length. Looks like we're looking at 2 pounds, 4 ounces. Not too bad.
That's a good one.
Yeah, 2 pounds, 4 ounces. Good one.
Nice. My buddies we are big fishermen.
Yeah?
Cool.
Caught it right off the dock here, man.
Did you really?
Oh yeah.
That's cool. Very nice.
Huh?
Damn.
We'll go send her home.
Are you really?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
You guys eat bass?
No. but they're fun. That's a good sport fish. That's a great fish.
I like giving them good releases. Oh, have fun. Oh.
Yeah, there you go. Boys are rocking.
I knew we could land that big one if we just stuck around and got the right bait. And I was right.
When you're fishing drop shot, it's a lot of just dragging and flicking the rod up and down, popping over and over again. You're just trying to get some action in that worm that you have on the line, and you're trying to drag that along so you can get maximum visibility.
So windy today. Oh, hey, that's Hayward Lake. Oh my goodness. Ah! Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Look at him. Hey, that's Hayward Lake down. My monster catch.
Here's me in my natural habitat, thumbnail farming.
Later, buddy.
And there you have it. That is drop shotting to a T. It's not much more than that. You now know how to tie on a drop shot. You know how to throw a drop shot. You now know the rod and reel combo that I'm using, and you've seen it be successful. So if you're having a day where you just can't get a fish in the boat, you can't get a fish on shore, but you know there's fish in there, you've seen them, you've had some hits, but you just can't get them in, try a drop shot. Can't go wrong. You're going to have fun with it. You'll get frustrated, and there's going to be times where you break them off and you get the sinkers stuck on things, and it can, it can be a bad time too. But for the most part, anytime I've tied on a drop shot, I've had success, and I think you will too. If you learned anything, if you have any comments, you have any questions, feel free to drop a comment, drop a like, subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. I'm trying to grow as a channel right now, and I feel like videos like this are super helpful for new anglers and people that have been in it for a while and just want to revisit things. Because for me, drop shotting is something that I go to when I'm not catching anything else. I haven't had to use that in a long time, but I did recently, and I thought, you know what, this is a very valuable tool and somebody else can use this knowledge. So thanks for tuning in. Until next time, I'm Prongs. Keep on fishing, keep on gaining XP.